Again, I get one that doesn't have any of the command lines. So can you see where it says line on yours? It's like you hover. I'm on the tool home bar, and then you'll see tool space, and then does yours say parcel, or does yours look like mine where you have to hover over it? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's because of his screen resolution. Let me see if I can get the screen resolution. I don't see anything higher than. These are higher, but when I did it, it made them a lot. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. That looks a little bit better. I know it's small. So this is going to be a straight road. So I just want to make a line 400 feet long. So how can I make a line? So I'm just going to kind of, since this is the first time y'all probably seen this Civil 3D, I want to explain a little bit about. The home screen is where most everything that we're going to work from is. Alignments, which would be your plan view. Remember I said they do profiles, points. I mean, you can get everything. You can draw, you can move, you can rotate. Everything's usually on this command bar. Insert would be if I want to put a symbol in or I want to attach a picture. Those type of things we can do in insert. Annotates all our text. That's usually where we're doing text and labeling. Modify is when we want to change something. So those are the basic ones I do. I do type a lot of times the word menu bar, all one word. And the reason I do that is it adds, and it's set to 0, I set it to 1. So look at I'm going to have you look at my screen across there. When I set it to 1, it gives me another kind of some other stuff, like it gives me a few other things up there. So a lot of times I'll put that on sometime just to have it. So since we're going to be, we want to draw a line 400 feet. That's all I want to do, straight line, stake it out, 400 feet. I'm going to do a line, create a line. And you can do, so my first point, I can say 0, 0, so it starts it at 0. Enter. And then right now it's kind of floating. I can type, I'm going to turn my my horizontal where it's F8, where it's ortho, where it can only go right. So it's F8, and then I'm going to type 400. And then just hit escape one time. So that's all I've got is one line. If I want to kind of list it to find out what I'll do a lot of command prompts on a list it just to make sure it's 400 feet. As I can see, I've got 400 feet right here. You got a line in yet? Yeah. So I did.
Make a lot. Just specify 400.
You could have. Yes, you could have. Let me take it off.
Yeah, do it again.
Okay. So, line. Create a line. I did 0, 0. So he was asking, couldn't I have done 0, 400? And it would have.
But instead of using the coordinate points, couldn't you just type 400 in?
That's what I do.
Okay, yes, yeah.
I went the opposite direction with it. I do. But you've got to have the ortho on.
Stretch that horizontal.
And yes, so I've got the F8 on to make it that way, and I'm just going to type I'm going to type 400, and it'll do it 400 feet. And then I just hit enter, and then I escape one time.
My line looks really tiny.
Yeah, you'll have to zoom in. So an easy way to do that is if you double click your rolling wheel, the center rolling wheel, it'll put it right to the center of double click your rolling wheel, and then I zoomed out. Another thing you could do is type ZE for zoom extents, and it does the same thing, but you would have to know that. But the rolling wheel, you should remember, double click and it'll put it to there. So yeah, it looks like it's really small, but if you type LI for list it, you can list it and see if it does it. So I've got a length of 400 feet. Has everybody got a line in yet?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go to?
So,
Create a line. Yep. Do 0, 0, so type in 0, enter, 0, enter. And then is your F8 on?
yes. I think so.
Do 400, 400, 0. Let's see. Type Z for zoom extent or your rolling wheel twice. Let's see if you got something here. Yeah. And then you can scroll it. Okay. It might have just been putting it in and you couldn't see where it was. Now I want to put like the station numbers on it, so I want to make it in alignment. So I'm going to go to alignments. The drop down. I'm going to create alignment from object. Now hopefully I don't have to have a P line. Hopefully it'll just pick it up for me. You want to click closest to the left. And hit enter. And right now it's asking me, do I want the station numbers to go increase going to the right, which is correct.
Enter.
Enter. It had a little arrow. Did you see that? Okay, that's what it's asking me. So if I would have clicked on the other end, and I will show you that. So if I accidentally had clicked here, and it was that way, I could say reverse, and it would have done it. You could have reversed it. So let me go back. And now if you notice, I got out. If you're going right back in that same command, a lot of times you can just hit enter, and it would put you right back in that same command. So I'm doing from object, hit enter. So if I needed to reverse it, I could say reverse, but it's good, so I'm just going to hit enter, and then it brings it up here. So I'm going to leave all of this on here just how it is, and what it's asking for. They have it set up when you see it.
I can interrupt. I can click alignment and then click on my line, and then it doesn't give you the answer to that.
It doesn't. So I just hit.
So I just cancel it, and then align objects, do this, forward to the left as possible, click
enter again. And then hit OK. And you go ahead and hit OK. I know this is there's not a book that gives you a easy way to, I guess they do have this, Mr. Manis does teach a Civil 3D class, and normally it would be like this time of the year on like Tuesday and Thursday nights. A lot of times it's people in the industry that work somewhere and they're trying to get some extra learning, and the book's less than $100 and it's already got the stuff and he's really good with it. So, all right, so I've got that. So now I need to get the profile in. So typically, like I said, we would do it with a total station. So I've got to get these points put in on this alignment. And I can't just put center line. I'm going to put just center line to begin with, but this AutoCAD is real. We used to be able to just I could put points in right here and put the elevation. I could put a point in the 50, put an elevation here, and it would then draw that. It does not anymore. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to, and I'm going to go to this top ribbon, points. And we're going to create points, miscellaneous. Nope, I'm going to do create points from an alignment. So I'm third one down. So I went to this point. So if you didn't put this one on.
Yeah, what's that command again?
Menu bar. So type menu bar.
Enter.
And it's set to 0, so set it to 1. So type 1 and then hit enter.
Why do you do this?
To be able to get to my points.
Oh.
Oh, well, you don't put more points up here, or that one down here, ribbon, and down here, that can make points. So that's points up here. It's cool on that. Got it.
Yeah, that's right.
You said you typed in 2 block? Or is that just another way to compare?
Yeah, I didn't have that on mine, so I had to put the command. I had to put the command in.
I would take menu bar, and then because I'm not, and yeah, it looks like you're there. What here's. So yeah, I did have that 1 point, and that's something they must have just. And it is alignment, and it is. But I usually was going up here. That way, I had a couple of extra options. But it looks like it is. Of course, they just updated.
Well, now that I type in.
Right up here, that word points there. It's going to get you same thing. Alignment, station, and offset. Very first one. Said select, so it's asking me, and what you do is look at the command line. It's saying select the alignment. So I'm going to select my green line. Specify the station along the baseline. So if I want the very first 0, it's just 0. So I'm going to type 0, enter. Offset. So here's the thing with CAD. I'll turn on the light so I can show you. In CAD, this is right on the center line, so it's 0. If you go left or up, that's a negative number. And if we go right, it's a positive number. So we're going to try to set that same point, the up and to the bottom. And for CAD to understand left and right, that's how you got to put it in.
Because we're looking down on the road, right?
And then the next one, yeah, I'm gonna kind of help you. Then we're gonna go to the 50. We're gonna put one on the center line, which is 0, and then we're gonna put one to the left or up at 5 feet, and we'll put the same elevation on there. So CAD is like if we were outside and we were doing all this rod, I'd bring the points in, walk, they pop right in for us. But since we did it with the level, we're putting a little work on ourselves. So one of the engineering firms had hired one of the architecture students, but she had had our surveying class, and they asked her to put points on something. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I put points in. So I set it for the offset to be 0. So I'm going to do 0 because it's already in their inner. It wants a description.
You want us to do the same thing?
Yep. Yep, follow me. So I'm going to escape out, and I'm going to go back in again. So
I'm caught up to that point.
Okay. So, well, I'll tell you this. If you go out, you have to come back in. You've got to go back to here because it's... So, station along the baseline. I could have just clicked right here. Like where it's, because it's floating, I could have just clicked my snaps. And I could have clicked right here again. And then it asked, I don't know what it's asking for me. Let me do it the right way. My alignment, station and offset. It's 0 for my station. It's going to be offset's going to be 0, so I'm just going to hit enter. And what's the description? So if I want to just put 0 plus 0, 0, so I know what it is. I'm going to hit enter. And the elevation, I want to put our elevation that we got. So I want to put 211.58. And it's going to throw a little X in there. Let me know when you got an X. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead while I'm here, and I'm going to put the one, you know, maybe 5 feet to the top and 5 feet below. So I got to actually tell it the station again. So I'm just going to type 0 again. Now this time the offset, if I want to go up, is a -5. And the only reason I'm going 5 is just for it to create a surface for me. My description, you could say 0 plus 0, 0, LT for left. And if you mess something up and you got it wrong, don't worry about it. We can fix it. If you actually put 0 and hit enter, not a big deal. It's real easy to edit this stuff after we get through. So don't worry about it. Just keep plugging. So I'm going to put 0 plus 0, 0 left. And then my elevation is going to be the exact same elevation. So I'm going to do 211.58. Now I should have another X. All right, so I'm still here again, but I want to go now down. So I'm going to type 0 because I want to put a third one here. And now you don't have to put the plus for the positive. You can just put 5, but if you put +5, it's fine. It knows. Yes, still 0, because we're going to do a third one at 0, but our offset's going to be 5. And then I'm going to do my description as 0 plus 0, right. And my elevation will be 211.58. If, let's say I messed up and I got out, I'm gonna have to go, and I did, so don't, I'm just gonna go back and I'll have to go back to points and go back into create alignment station office. I'm ready to go. All right, so I want to go to the 50. So the station, and I think if you put 050, it'll understand, but let me see. Nope, it didn't. So you need to put it in 50 feet. So you need to put just 50 for that one. So to get the 50, 0 plus 50, just type 50. If I want to put one right here on the center, it's 0. The description, I'm going to say 0 plus 50. And elevation for 50 should be 214.32. I know this is a lot of work, but usually, like I said, if we do it in the data collector, it'd pop right in and we wouldn't have to go through this. All right, so I want to go to the left. So my station again, so I'm going to do 3 at 50. So I'm going to type 50. To go up, and it doesn't, it, like I said, if you mess up, that's okay. I can adjust. If you accidentally put the wrong offset in there, I'm really concerned about the elevations. I can. Where you at? No, I don't. I would type in maybe 0 plus 0 is 0, right? Your elevation, so put your elevation that you got for your, maybe put Brooklyn in that same one. Is it 218.5 or 0?
You said 211 earlier.
Did I say?
But I went to, no, I'm sorry. You're right.
Okay,
No, my bad.
hard to see in this dark. So I don't want to move ahead when it's something like this and there's not a book to tell you. So once you get that, just hit enter and then move to 50. And don't worry, just keep going. If you mess up on something, just keep going. If you catch up.
That's my station.
Yes, when you said, you should have gotten a third X. You did. So now you're at 50. And now we want to stay right there on that center. So 0 is what needs to be the center. Like 0, because we're going to stay on the center. The green. Description 0 plus 50. Yeah, and I should explain that. The center line is the green line. So this is what is the center line of our road, and that's really where we got our shots. But for AutoCAD to create a surface, I'm having to put something left and right. I probably only would have to do left.
What's this, want to specify station along baseline?
That's,
I already did.
have you got 3?
It does.
Okay, so you're ready for the next one. So you type in 100 because you're at 1. So he's 1 ahead of me. So I'm going to do 3 at 0. Right, 3 at 50. So now I'm offset. This time I'm going to go left. So it's a -5. Believe me, if you mess up, I can just keep going. I can fix it for you. It is very forgiving. So my center line at 50 is 214.32. Oh,
What do we put for alignment?
for which one?
For station 1.
100, because 100 feet.
Okay. So we put
I-
1 plus 0, 0.
Just type in 100, because I don't think it'll take 1 plus 0, 0. I think it'll throw you back out. Okay, enter my description. Mine's going to be, for this one, it's 0 plus 50. If you mess up and put the wrong, you accidentally put the elevation where the station is, keep going, I can fix it.
And we're not gonna put turn point 1, right? We're just doing.
That's correct. We won't do turn point 1 because that doesn't fall right on this.
Yeah, specify station is just 50, right?
So like I'm right here now at the 50, I still got to put a third one here. So you have to take 0 plus 50 and take it out of, drop your plus out, and it's just 50. So if you're doing 1, drop the 1 out, drop the plus out, it'll be 100. So I've got to put a third one here.
Add a point to it. No, but I'll just put 50. Right?
Yeah, just put 50.
At point 50, you use the 214.32 for all 3 elevations.
I did. Mm-hmm. If you put 2 in on top of each other, don't worry about it. Keep going. If you accidentally put the wrong elevation in, don't worry about it. I can fix it. We can fix it. Okay, now I'm moving on to 1. So I'm going to do the same thing. Instead of you have to type in 100 for it to know that it's here. I think if I would type in, I'm going to try to type in 1 plus 0, 0 and see what happens. It says specify station, so it doesn't know it. Yeah, it is. And when I go to the description for this one, I'm going to put 1 plus 0, 0. If you get the wrong description, just keep going. I definitely can fix you. I'm just going through and trying to put 3. If you miss one, we'll come back and get it. Don't get out. When you go to 1, if you go to 1 plus 50, that's 150. I just messed up, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going. I know for sure I put my elevation in some of my descriptions, so I'll fix them when we get through.
Okay, well, it says specify station along baseline.
Which one are you going to?
I'm still at 50.
It'd be 50. So you're going to put 3 at 50, 1 at 0 for the offset, 1 at a -5 offset, and 1 at a +5 offset. But you're all going to be the same elevation. I know I got some definite issues. I got something. I'm going to double click my rolling wheel just to make sure I don't have any out here floating off to the side. Save it if you hadn't saved it. And there's a little save button here at the top. When you get through, it's okay if it, I'm going to do file, save as, so I'll know where it is too. Because if it puts it on this, I didn't tell you to bring a flash drive, and some of y'all don't remember your login, so we'll be done with it tonight, just in case you can't save it.
What do we say?
You can just put it on your desktop and email it to yourself if you need it. I don't think you will. You can just save it as your profile. And I'm just going to put it on my desktop for right now.
You want to name something in particular?
Huh?
Do you want the file named something in particular?
No, I got just profile. I don't know it. I'm going to look. I want to be able to see my descriptions that I put on here. I want to be able to see my point numbers that I put on here, and I want to see my elevations, and it's heart, and all it did was put an X. So if you go to points, even if you got some in, go to the list points. And what's turned off, so here's all of my listings, but what happens is and I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to stop in just a second. So I've got some that are wrong because I didn't put, I know I put the elevation in for some of my descriptions. So if you scroll over on here, the column next to the point label style, this column right here, which is, and it's this one, point label style. If you right click right here and say edit, and I'm going to stop and walk around. I want my point number, I want my elevation, and I want my description.
Point number, elevation, and description. Second one from the bottom.
And now when it comes in, it's all jumbled up.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is go from that 1 to 40, maybe down to a 1 to 10 to make them a little smaller. That's really too small.
Where is that?
Right here on the bottom. The 1 to, there's,
Yeah.
So I made them a little smaller so I can kind of zoom in and look and see all my elevations right. I've got a 0. So I'm just kind of looking to make sure there's the point numbers. It doesn't matter your point numbers are out of order. That's not going to make a difference. If you get your description wrong, that's not going to make a difference. The main thing I want to know is that you went each side and they're all 3 the same elevations. So then, we can go in and switch them, because if I need to go in and change something, I'll show you. So like right here on my 150, I put the description as the elevation. So on lumber, I can see 11, I messed up. So I can go to my points and list points and go to that number 11, where I put the description as that. I can click in here and say 1 plus 50. If you actually got a wrong elevation, you can change that right here in this table. So how to get back to the table, it's points, list points.
Will you tell me which column it is that you did? This, I mean, I got it.
And then just kind of look there.
Okay.
And then change your 1 to 10, you see.
Where's my grab where I can like scroll to see my? Can I like grab it and drag it in, or how do you?
It's on that little shortcut menu on the right hand side under the north facing wheel with little hands there. lost it, so I did it all the way together. And then because I did undo and just did it all the way back.
Oh, yeah.
And then I can't undo my read, or I can't use my undo. I did that.
Greg, I have been working on the drawing for 4 hours
Oh, my God.
and had not saved. And I hit undo one time and I lost everything. And I've never had that happen before, and it happened. I've only had that happen one time.
So save every so often, make sure you have like they normally will do an automatic save, like you said, you type it, it will do an automatic save, but I have done undo and redo didn't work.
Why do some of them have this? I've got that 1 + 0 0 on top of everything. Where did that come from?
I have no idea how that happened.
It did it here too. And I know it, like when I get out here, I know I wasn't typing extra.
Oh, I know what,
Oh, that's the
your
original
station
line.
number, that's
the
your original
line.
station
Yeah.
number. That's when you said that, I thought, what?
Yeah.
So he could, his station number. So he was like, what? Right here, and I saw his, that was the actual labeling for the two. So just make sure and then I'll let you take a quick break. Just make sure your elevations all look. See, I just made a mistake right there. On my 3 + 50, it's supposed to be 2:18:14, and I got a 2:18:40. So I can go into my points and my list points and go to that.
And edit it in that little.
Yep, I can edit it right here. So right here where I messed up, you actually will click in the elevation and I can retype it. Yes, this is very forgiving. The only thing if you mess up on any descriptions or elevations, I can fix them. I'm not really so much worried about the descriptions as I am just the elevations. I'm just making sure. So yeah, the pan is right there. I'm just looking sure. There's one, I've got the elevation as the description, 15. Just making sure they're all looking. And that you don't have any that say 0 either. Make sure. So I got one right there, so I'm going to go to points. List points. And I guess you could have changed it here. Like if you mess up the east and north, the northern eastern, we could have typed it here and it would move it back for us. There's the one I messed up on. That should have been 2 + here. You want to take a quick break real quick and we'll let Greg get caught up a second.
You said the negative numbers were to the right or to the left?
To the left.
To the left.
Always to the left.
Okay. And the positives to the.
And it will always set up that for you. So if I was, and you would have to do this, if you were working in the office and you were trying to give the survey crew the points to go out and stake the center line or offset left or right, you would have to do it just like this. The tedious work I'm doing, you'd have to do right there. You'd have to give them whatever your elevation is, and you would have to set it up left and right. So the one girl that went to work for a survey, they told her to put points. She made an X. Just made an X.
Oh my God.
Which it wasn't a point. And then, like, they told me, I was like, oh my goodness. I said, So I always tell the students, it's just like we did in survey 1. If they ask you to put points on something, no, you gotta go to points, and there's different ways to stake them out. But you've gotta have a coordinate file.
If I had to do this for much longer than 400 feet, my eyeballs aren't fully crossed.
Yeah, no. This is why I was interested in civil, because of the CAD, the drafting. And yes, I can do it, but it's my least favorite to do. And the only time you would have to do this is if you are the one sending out to the survey crew. You're gonna have to send that stuff to them.
And they would just upload this in their total station as a file, and then the total station would give them, hey, go move here, move here. Move
Yep, exactly, it would. Some squeaky chairs in here. I'll work with him. I'm gonna go ahead and I can help him out. Think you got something on there halfway close? Look like it's matching. At least the elevations match up.
Mhm.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a surface. So a surface is gonna do a triangulation between all the points. So we're gonna go to surface. So it's the one right below the points. Create. I am gonna change one thing.
Just standard create surface.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Pulls that. Only thing I'm gonna change is the contours. I'm gonna change them to 1 and 5. So that means it'll make a contour, and it doesn't matter if you say design or background. And just hit OK. And OK. It's not gonna do anything because I don't have anything in it. You can just, and this one, if you click on it, it's just gonna say by block. So, does it look like you have that? So you just did a surface. So I went to surface, create a surface, and then I changed these two. That's all I did. I'm gonna hit cancel.
You
The-
changed
Just the
both
one,
of them?
yeah, I changed both. Well, it's
Huh.
actually gonna say by block. So if you say by block, it'll do it right.
Contours, 1 and 5.
So it means like, I want them to connect and draw a line every 1 foot instead of like, so if I was, and I'm just gonna hit, so I wanna draw, it'll draw a 211, it'll make me a little line where 211 is, or excuse, yeah, it'll do 212, it'll do a 213, it'll do a 214. So it's gonna do these contours, but you've gotta put those points in there. So if I wanna add or change something, I'm going to modify. So I'm gonna hit the modify, and I'm gonna modify my surface right here on the very, right here. And then it pulls this up and I wanna add data and points file. I think it might be points group. I can do points group because it's gonna be, there should be an all points group. And it made all of these points. Let me know when you get
I
there.
don't think I did anything when I clicked that.
You hit apply or okay?
You'd hit apply.
You have to enter.
Oh, enter. Oh, okay. Now
And-
I'm with it.
Apply? Okay.
Surface 1, surface 2.
Where'd you see that at?
I got the same thing.
Okay.
When I pull this to select the surface now, I have 2 surfaces to select from.
Oh, yeah. You did?
Yeah.
Did you do it twice when I was going back through again?
I hit cancel the second time.
Huh. Then that's, you can choose either one. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I got you. So you got 2, do surface 1, and then do all points.
Okay.
You have to click all points just so they don't get it and say apply.
Okay.
And then say okay. And then see if you got something that looks like that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, so, and sometimes if I'm working and I give the students a template and it's had another surface in there. So if I kind of hover over, I can see that's 212, the elevation. This is the border right here, and that kind of gets on my nerves. So I can left click on it, right click, and these two get me because they're so much alike. I'm not sure which one it is, but let me look real quick. It's the other one. So if I messed up, that's one good thing. I'm a left click, right click. Let's say I didn't do the 1 and 5. I actually did 2 and 10. I could change it right here. And you see, I just changed mine that quick. So you see how forgiving this is. So I'm gonna left click, right click, put it back to my 1 and 5, and it doesn't matter. And then I'm gonna left click, right click, and edit surface style. There is a border right here. You found it?
No, I'm lost.
Okay. So I'm left clicking on the green, and then I right click once I've got it highlighted.
That's the screen right here.
Yeah.
Which horse is blue? Oh,
I don't know. Right click now. Edit surface style. Borders. And then we're gonna turn it, I'm gonna make it, oh, I went back in again. I'm gonna turn it to false. So I'm gonna go to edit surface style, and I'm gonna change this exterior, just change it to false. It'll turn it off. So right there under border types,
click false.
and hit apply. So it just turned it off, so I didn't see all that. Now, what if I want to label these little gray lines so I know what they are? I'm going to go to annotate because that's all of our labels. And it's under add line labels or add labels. Click down. And that's a surface. And I'm going to add contour single. I'm not going to do anything, so I haven't clicked anything. So I'm going to click that, and it says, if I'm looking at the command, it says select the contour line. I'm going to take that O snaps off because it's clicking on this, so the O snaps are right down here. Or you can hit the same thing as F3. So it's wanting me to click the line, so just kind of get as close as you can to it. If it doesn't click, then click again. So I'm just going to label them all so I can see what those are. Look. Does yours look like mine?
Mm-hmm.
It does?
No.
No.
No, I didn't get that little thing.
That means I got something wrong. Did yours look like this?
Mine had the numbers, like it was supposed to be.
Yours labeled it?
Mm-hmm.
And yours don't look as funky as mine does?
Now, I only have the 3, I don't have extended anything past that 14, 32, and 50.
You don't have anything, you don't have a 219?
Nope.
I do.
Okay, so let me look. And then if I need to add something additional to the end, I can go to surface and then do a spot elevation. So I could do, and I would definitely put my O snaps on. So if I wanted to, because we're going to turn these points off. So if I want, and I'll walk around and see if I can, F3 will. Oh, I actually got out of my command, so I'll have to go back. So if I want to add an extra one in, it was still under that surface, and I can add a spot elevation right here at the end and one at the beginning.
I just went in and did it, and they showed up.
Okay. Yeah, mine's only one those feet. Let's see if there's, look and see if there's something. You got some. But yours doesn't look like mine. So right here, they will go. Oh, look at that.
Do you want to label the inside of that? I'm gonna ask you, do you want 215 label because in the middle of all of that?
Yeah, we're going to turn the points off. So hers came in the right color. I get made every fifth one a little darker. I'm not sure if mine did.
Mine did that too.
Okay, so there's hers. So you just have to do the rest of it.
Just click on those lines.
So I did a spot elevation at the end in the beginning, and then these points are all in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the home. Once you get them labeled, let me know. Ryan, you got yours labeled?
Yes, ma'am.
Anthony, you good? Candace, let me know when you got them, and
Well, I got some of them.
I'll let you finish them real quick.
But I don't know that you, I can't get them. It's like
Yeah.
I'm missing it between a couple,
Yeah, 'cause like,
like these three. Over here I have those.
So that's 214.
That's 214.40.
So there wouldn't be one, but
It's in the middle of those, the,
right there.
Oh, yeah.
it's there.
Oh, yeah, you get a label twice, that's all right. So I think there's a big, there looks like she's got a big, well, I got a gap.
It's only labeling every foot.
Yeah, so it's only, you could change it to a half a foot, but it's only labeling every foot, so you probably don't have anything in between here.
Correct.
All of those land on 240.
yeah, so they're not. So I think you got them. And mine did mine a little funny, so I'm not gonna get all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the home, and then under the label layers property, if you noticed when I went to points and list points, it puts it on a V-node layer. So I can just freeze it, so where they're still in there, but it turns it off. So you go to layer properties, and I'm going to type in V, I'm going to start, I should be able to start typing V, let me scroll down to it. It's V-node, the very first one. What happens is it actually can isolate them out into more. It puts it on that, and I'm just going to freeze it.
Click it.
And just hit that little freeze button. So yeah, you can, there's so what I'm doing is I'm double clicking like Excel. You can click in here and it'll actually make it the width of your, if I wanted to see all this, I could kind of do that. So if I hit that and hit, I'm actually going to have to probably, it looks, not seeing it go away, I'm going to turn it off. Okay, I turned it off, it went off. Looks like they put the text on a different layer, so it's probably V-node text.
So you have the V-node locked still, or no?
No, I froze it. I didn't even lock it, I froze it.
What's that mean?
So that it doesn't show up on here. So if you freeze it, then it takes all those points off to where they're not jumbling up.
Where's the freeze?
Right here. There's on and freeze, but you'd have to kind of click up here. There's, the first thing is your name.
Yep.
Yeah, and then there's your freeze. So a good thing about that, you could lock it so that somebody couldn't move your points or change your points, which you could set it where you can. Okay, so I've done that. Now I need to get it to show the profile underneath. I want it to kind of do the three-dimensional. So we're going to do a profile. And since we have a surface, it'll be create a surface profile.
Where's?
Yeah.
Do you have profile right here? I'm on the home, and then create a surface. So it may ask you, you may have two here.
Yes.
Okay, so do the one that has your station numbers on it. Do you see your 0 and 4? You got 2. I only
I see
have.
them on both, I think.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up with that? Okay, we're just gonna go with the first one and see what
Okay.
happens. Go with your first one and see what happens. I hate that the screen resolution's not that good. The sharp is better. So I'm gonna hit add. So I hit the word add. I'm gonna put draw in profile view, and it's gonna ask me some stuff. It's gonna start going through a range. So the first thing is the general. And general would be if I knew the, like if I wanted to name it, I could name it here. If it was a road, I could name it. So that would be, if not, it's just going to do the next counter. It'll be alignment 1, 2, 3, 4. But usually when I do the alignment, I would specifically call it usually a street name to begin with. So I'm just going to hit next. That's all going to be good. Station range 0 to 4. So I don't have to do anything. If I needed to split it up and it wasn't going to fit all on one page, then I probably would need to do that. Now, typically when we're doing profiles, your top of the ground, I only want it maybe about another 5 feet above this. Most of the time you're going to have stuff underneath. So a lot of times I'll use like a user specified. So my highest grade is 219.23. So I'm going to see if it'll let me. And sometimes it doesn't pick it up. But if I call 220 or 225 my top, and I'm going to do 125 lower, that would be 200. That would give me 11. That would give me 25 feet to work with.
So what do you want the minimum to be?
I did 200 as my minimum and 225 as my maximum. If it does, sometimes in the past it won't pick it up. We can edit it later on. So just know if it doesn't pick it up and you hit automatic, we can easily change it. So I changed minimum 200, max 225. So I'm going to hit next. I'm not changing any here on these displays. I'm just going to let it go. And then it's asking me where I want the bands at, like where I want the station number bands at, and we typically want them on the bottom. And once I'm done with this, I just hit create profile view. And you want to give it a look. I don't know why I got a big X there.
Yeah, that's what I got.
You're going to want to put it below here. You don't want it because it's going to fly up. So I'm just going to put it down here. Or I can put it, so I'm just going to put it down here. And that's what I got. And it does not line up right. And it did not do my grades because it started with 212. It went to 236. It went back a negative 100. It didn't do every 50, and it went forward another 400. So I'm gonna, did you even get anything to come in?
Yeah,
Okay.
mine looks similar to yours.
Okay,
Mine's much taller.
that's okay. I'm just gonna move it. I'm just gonna move it over. Because it went too far. I'm just gonna move it over to here. We can absolutely fix this. This is not a big deal. So what happens is we can fix those. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna left click again on the blue. So it's highlighted, right click. And there's a couple things I'm gonna change. So I'm gonna first do profile view properties. This is good, but my elevations aren't, because it did, I'm gonna see if I can change it now to say the 200 and change it to say 225. So it did not get it.
It won't let me access.
Okay, then uncheck the split profile view and uncheck that and see if it'll let you change it now.
What was that minimum?
200 and 225. You'd think it'd fix it when we told it, but it didn't. So you have to click that. And then there's really nothing else here that I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna hit apply. And okay, so it did fix it a little bit better. Okay. So, gosh, I'm gonna go back to my 1 to 40. That'll make it a little bit where I can see it a little better. So let me move it down a little bit because it's running into
How do you move it like that?
Just hit move. Oh, sorry. Move right here. Sorry. The word move. And I'm just going to slide it straight down. So.
My cursor is locked up. There we go. Oh, you didn't look at it. There we go.
Believe me, this is definitely can be challenging.
What are you doing to move it?
Huh?
What are you doing to move it?
I hit the word move, and then I click on the blue. So, and once I click on the blue, it'll let me go up and down with it, or left or right. I may still have my ortho on. I don't know. Is it not letting you move?
Click move. I like the blue.
Oh, I know what. Hit enter. Hit enter. Sorry.
Now just.
And then you can drag it down or up. Sorry, I
Got my,
hit enter when you check that you got moved. This has to be something else. Repeat move. Most nowadays, I'm sorry, I kind of take for granted some stuff because I'm I didn't think to say hit enter. I'm going to do one thing. So this should be like a dash line, but it's coming in kind of really, really small. So let me show you a quick way to fix that. Type LTS. It's set to 1. If your scale's 1 to 40, it needs to be half of that, so it needs to be 20. And then now you'll see your dash lines.
What did you do again?
LTS, just on the command line, type LTS and hit enter. And then change that. It's set to 1, so change it to 20. And 20 is half my scale. If it had been 50, I would have done 25. Last thing we got to do is I need to do a finished grade. In other words, I need to make this, because we can't drive our car on this craziness. So I need to kind of smooth this out. And I'm going to do it 2 ways, because this is forgiven too. So one other thing I do, I want to put like 50-foot stations in there. So I'm going to left click, right click, and it's the next one down, which is edit profile view style. And it is grids, horizontal. It's my horizontal axis. Right now it's set for 125. So I'm going to change this to 50. And I think leave that at 25, and I think it'll get it. And then if I wanted to change this, what if I did, I'm going to do every, because it's doing 2, that's it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to see what 5 looks like here, and 1 here. So I'll show you what I'm doing in this. So I changed the grids. I changed the vertical axis to 5 and 1. I changed the horizontal to 50 and 25. So I left the 25. I'm going to hit apply and hit OK. Yay! Looks better. So if you went to work somewhere, they're going to have all these set up for you. They'll have, you know, usually they'll pay, like PwC paid somebody to come in and set up, do all the setting up for them. But I'm letting you kind of reinvent the wheel to learn how to make changes if something doesn't come in the way you want it to come in. Last thing, this is existing ground. This is what it looked like as we were going up the road. So, I mean, that kind of looks like, you know, how we had a turn and come up here. I normally will label this and call it existing ground. And usually when I label, the easiest way for me to label is to actually type the word D and text together. D-T-E-X-T. And when I do, I'm going to hit enter. And it wants to know where I want to start. So I'm just going to pick somewhere in here. Now, the size of the height, this 0.2, that's going to come in so small. So if it's a 40 scale, it's also going to be a factor of that 40 scale. It's going to be a 4. You want it to be a 4. If it was a 50, you want 5. That way you can see it. So what? Huh?
I said I'm on 1.
You're on 1?
Yeah, 110.
Okay, so you need to go back to 1 to 40. So click right down here before you do anything and change at the bottom. You see where where I'm at, right? Change it to 1 to 40.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then so this is going to, and then go back and type D-text, and we're going to do 4. Really, it doesn't matter. So it looks like I got my F ortho on, which is F8. If I wanted to kind of rotate it with the road here, I can kind of, when it says specify that, I can just click here, and then I'm going to type existing, and I usually use capital. And you can fix it. We can definitely fix it if your rotation comes straight. You hit enter twice and it'll come out. So once I typed it, I hit enter and enter again. Now if it went over here, you can definitely move it. So you can move it wherever you want to move it at. And let's say I didn't like how it rotated in. I'm just going to move it here. there's the word rotate. So when you click that, you always have to hit enter. So I can kind of rotate it. And when I get the way I want it, I'm going to left click. We're almost there. This has been a late class, hasn't it? Got something in halfway okay? Rotated. So I'm going to do a couple of different things. So just don't do yet, because I'm going to do alignment. No, excuse me, sorry. I'm going to do a profile. I'm going to go to my profile creation tools, but I'm going to play with it a little bit, so don't do this yet. So it's going to ask me which one where I want to create it. You have to hit the blue box. And I normally kind of go with, it's that same alignment. I'm just going to hit OK. And then we can draw tangents. So this one here, there's two different ways you can do it. I'm going to draw tangents with curves to begin with. Rodney's calling. Hey, Rodney. Yeah, we're in 251. Did you see us, Steve, my car? Oh, yeah, it is. We were. Thank you for checking. We're in 251. Okay, thanks. All right, bye. Okay, thanks. All right, bye. He's like, I saw the cars out there and I didn't know what's going on and want to make sure nothing happened to y'all. Okay, so I'm going to do draw tangents with curves. And I'm just going to stick some, I'm going to make sure my O-snaps are off, and I'm just going to play with it. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to, don't do this. I'm going to put my O-snaps back on. And I'm going to click to here. I'm going to get enter. And it smoothed out my curve, but I have a lot of cut right here, which that's probably okay. It'd be to cut that hill wouldn't be too bad. But what it did is it labeled this. I'm going to erase it, get rid of it. And I have to erase my fonts. So I'm back to where I was. You have to start at the beginning, because if you notice, it was that curve. So we've got to click to the beginning, and I got to tie to the end because that's existing ground. So I'm just going to do a straight line and see how that looks. So I'm going to go to profile. Yep, you can now. I think this will probably be the best one. I'm going to create a surface profile creation tool. Sorry, one down. There are videos that I can show you on these that make it real easy. So when it asks you to select it, you got to click the blue box, the outside box. Now, if I wanted to label, change it to something different, I could. I'm just going to let it come in the way it's supposed to. I'm going to hit OK. And then when it brings it up, right here is draw tangents without curves. So I'm choosing the first one. It's the first box to the left. Once I hit enter, it asks for the start point. My O-snaps are on so that it starts right here at the beginning, and I'm just going to draw a straight line to the end and hit enter. It's put me on a 1.91% grade, so that looks like it's pretty good. I've got quite a bit of cut. I don't really have much fill, so that would be pretty good. So you don't want to have to bring a lot of, and you're going to usually have to strip some of that grass off, and then you're actually going to be bringing in those sand, either some stone rock and asphalt. So yeah, this looks really good.
Can you tell me, when you clicked on profile, what was the next thing you clicked on?
Creation tools.
Creation.
Mhm.
Profile creation tool.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you click the blue box
Yep.
outside. And then, okay.
I'd hit OK. And then when you get here, you're going to draw your tangents.
Hold on. What do you do up there?
Right there, this little,
Yeah.
look, see the V?
Yeah.
You hit the little drop down beside it, you get 3 choices.
Okay. And you click draw tangents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I click the beginning point and the end point, and I'm going to escape. But the good thing about this, if I needed to edit any of this, let's say I didn't like something, I could change that grade right. Let me move this out of the way. If I wanted to change that to like a 1.5% and don't do this, I could have changed it right there. You can change any of this really easy again without having to redraw it. We got one last thing to do when we're done. Is right now, if you're looking at it, both of these grades, if I look at 0, the left grade is 211.58, the right one's 211.58. It's just a difference of one's 2 and one's 3. But we want the left to be the existing ground, and I want the one to the right to be the finished grade, that 1.9%. Real easy to do. Left click my blue box again. Right click. Profile view properties. Bands. I'm going to scroll over just a little bit. The one to the left is my surface 1. My one to the right, which is profile 2, says surface 1. So I'm going to click in here, and looks like I've got 2 or 3 layouts. So I did it twice, so mine's probably my layout 3.
So ours is probably layout 2.
Yeah.
I only have surface 1 and layout 1.
Okay, so yours is layout 1 then. So just change it to layout 1, hit apply, and mine's not, because I don't have it. It just got rid of mine. So that means mine wasn't that one. So if you've got grades on both sides, you're good. I don't, so I'm going to hit left click, right click. So mine must be layout 2. And there it is. So they should be different now. And if you look, they should be, one should be existing, one would be proposed. All your plan and profiles, that's what you're going to see. I'm going to show you a set of plans really quick, and then if somebody's seen plans, then, if you haven't seen plans before, I want to show you a set of plans real quick. All right, so there's the plan view for theirs. They started their 0, and they've got curves in there. This is a road. There's their, if you look, it's got their existing ground is the dashed. And they actually labeled it there. They've got a lot going on. They've got all kinds of pipes underneath it here. We don't do anything like this till actually the surveyors get a lot of this, because the subdivision planning class is just an all CAD class. So they get a lot of the design from beginning to end. We start from nothing to completely putting water, sewer, storm drain, everything in. It takes 16 weeks. And then as you see, they've got the left sides, they're existing, the right sides, the finished grade. And then if you just kind of look, here's how they've got it set up. So we've got something that looks a whole lot like that. I could get it to put in, the lines. I'm not going to go through all that, but I can make it, put in some the little dash lines like they had for like the 201, the 202, 203, 204. But I would have to set up some styles, and that's like PwC has styles set up, and I can easily like get to theirs. But it had to be styles set up in here to get the lines in there. But it's a good start for you guys. You would know how to put points. You can make a surface. You can label a surface. You can do a profile, you can do an existing ground surface profile, and then you can do a finished grade. And then you can edit a lot of this stuff. Now, if you'll remember that, that'd be great. So I am actually recording this. So what will happen is I'll download this and then I'll upload it to my YouTube channel. So I have a lot of stuff in there. It's all educational stuff that's in my YouTube channel that, it could be I did in GIS or what I did in this class, or just if it's something I really like this, I would probably, I don't know if I would do this one. If I was at home doing it, yes, but then since I stopped, and I've done some existing ground ones or done something I've seen, I've had like 2 million, 200,000, 2,000 views. So other people were looking at that. So I probably wouldn't do this one, but it's going to be under collaborate. So if you wanted to, I probably wouldn't. So you're the first group that gets to do this. The other groups haven't done it yet. So you're one step ahead of them. So when we would normally meet we wouldn't meet next week, and the week after is our break. So I guess we need to figure out, Ryan, I know I need probably 2 times. I'm going to have to show y'all how to set up the total station. We need to learn to shoot distances, turn angles, and it's getting dark early. So
I get off at 4, so
but I have class till 5:50, so that's putting me in a bind, and you have CAD on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So even if it has to be mean you have to work something out, and you two can come on a Tuesday or Thursday around at around 4, or I'm not sure your schedule. You just will have to kind of coordinate. And I don't mind if it has to be just me outside with you guys, because I can stack a rod, because I work this summer with another student.
Me too, right?
You too, if you want. You'll get plenty of time in class. But yeah, whatever. If you want to do one-on-one, I'm okay with that. If we can coordinate together, I might maybe do like send out an email and you tell me some things that would work. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm more flexible because I only have a morning class. I can do anything in the afternoons or, right after work, but we'll probably need, with time changing, we're going to be, and you won't have to do as much as the one in the day because they're having to rotate out who's on the equipment. I can put you both, there's two equipment you can switch out, so it goes a lot quicker. So probably like this summer, 2 to 3 times more you would need to come in. And maybe for an hour and a half, we'll figure out. And like I said, I'm okay, but I know you have CAD, and you've got CAD, so I'll kind of send something out and we'll try to figure it out. We'll try to shoot for after the break, especially to set up the instrument and show you how to do all that. I made a video, I hadn't put it on there, but this summer I had the student like record me showing how to set it all up and what I go through. So that we could easily do in an hour. It might just be some of the other ones we wouldn't have to do every other. That sound like a plan? And then when the CAD time comes in the end, when we put our data in, I'll make sure we'll do another CAD. Okay. That's fine, I'm here. Like I said, I'm here all Tuesday afternoons one way, but you let me know. Let's save. And I can work with you on yours. Did you get your points in, maybe? Okay, and if you notice, mine moved a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it. I know. I can get you. I can work it. So I'm having to watch the video and do it. So somebody's gonna have to watch the video and do it, which I'm telling you what, my Survey 3 class, half of them are doing it virtually, and they are really impressing me. Not to have not had any AutoCAD at all, because you're not having Civil 3D, even though some have had basic CAD. All you did was learn how to create a line and OSHAP. That's about it. So it's all new. They have been watching what I do in class and have been doing it. And they said I was really impressed. Save.
Now, do we need to really remember how to do this for this class? Or like practice it, you think?
Again?
Yeah.
No. Only if you go somewhere and you're going to sit for a job interview. Then if you really if you really like CAD and that's what you think you need to do, then you really need to take the subdivision planning class, which is a surveying class, but it's a major elective for civil as well. And it is in a 4 o'clock slot in the spring. So if you that's something you want. Now, if you ask me, I don't want to sit behind a computer, but there's good money in this. They're looking, Fort Bragg's looking for somebody. There's good money. And you probably wouldn't get stuck sitting behind a desk, because Mr. Manus hired somebody, he hired somebody from here to work as a drafting tech with him. And I told students, I said, well, how do you like it? He said he loves it. He gets to go out. If they go out, he gets to work. So he's not stuck behind a desk. He loves it. And then now he's already been promoted. And I think the survey tech guy is going to be his survey tech guy is going to be the CAD person. And the survey tech had already been doing a lot of CAD. So, they kind of promoted. So they probably got a survey tech position.
So we need to save
I think he probably told you about that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Do we need to save this and turn it in or anything?
I would email it to yourself, but if